Hello, hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady Rochelle, where we move away from awareness towards action. And it is day 19. Yes, day 19 of the special edition of Warriors Talk, Visions of Happiness, which is a book of poems that I have been working on for the last 10 years. And I'm excited that I'm done and that I'm sharing it out with the world. So if you have been following my page for the last 19 days, then you have heard 19 of my poems in this collection. And I am leading up to my 50th birthday, which is June 28th, which is a Sunday. So I am giving you 28 poems, 28 days at 8 p.m. every single night until the 28th. Now on the 28th, I probably will go live a little earlier because I'm sure I'm going to be celebrating and spending time with my family as I celebrate this milestone in my life. And so the poem tonight is titled Still Standing. And as I always do, I will explain where my head was when I wrote this poem and also my special announcement that I have to make. Ready? Let's go. Still standing. Leaving you was the best thing yet. Tried so many times, but always walked away with regret. Not wanting to break our tie. Fear of being without you. I just hung on while dying inside. So exhausted and love deprived. Tired of trying with someone who never once allowed me inside. Inside your heart is where I long to be. Still standing, waiting on a day for you to open up your heart to me. But that day never comes. To you, this was a game and we both had fun. Still standing with my heart intact, dreaming of this day that I can take it all back. At the crossroads in my life, not sure if I want to go on without you in my life. Life would never be the same because losing you is losing my friend. Still standing, finding peace, knowing we will forever be connected because of our seed. The next time I fall in love, it would be reciprocated. No longer wasting time on someone who isn't dedicated to loving me, mind, body, and soul. Lesson learned, I'm moving on. No regrets, my heart is on reserve. Still standing for the one that I deserve. And that's that piece. So I'm excited because here I am, day 19, got out of my comfort zone, sharing my poetry and just sharing my wisdom on behind the scenes of what was happening when I actually sat down and wrote this poem. So again, I've been writing these for the last 10 years. So this one was probably written maybe around 2014. Yes, and most of the poems kind of mimic to where I was at that time in my life. And then it also mimics some of the people that was in my life, things that I have seen, and I would sit down and write a poem about it. My motivation for when I write my poems is normally when I'm in like this, I don't want to say a dark situation, but when I'm like, normally like I'm depressed or I'm feeling some type of way, that's when I get my best work. My best poems come out of, my storms. They come out of me, being unhappy and feeling unloved. So that's where Still Standing came from. I wrote the poem because I felt like, when you break up with somebody, a lot of times people, they be so depressed. Some people want to commit suicide and some people go and get in another relationship and haven't even got over that relationship. And the poem Still Standing just lets the other person know that I was in a relationship with that even though we are not together again, we'll be connected forever in life. But I'm moving on and without you, and I'm still standing. Like, this relationship is not taking me down. It's not going to get the best of me. And that's how you have to look at it. Sometimes we're afraid to let go. Sometimes we hold on so long and we think, oh, I can change them. Or, if I just be really good to them, then, maybe they'll treat me this way. And it never happens. It never happens. And I admit that may be an exception to the rule, but that person has to want it. They have to want to do it. Their heart has to want to change. And they have to love you, genuinely love you. And nowadays, we don't see that anymore. We see, people moving on from relationship to relationship without even, putting in the work when it comes to relationships. You have to put in the work. You have to cultivate the relationship in order for it to grow, or it's going to go nowhere, and you have yourself to blame. I always say, if you're in a relationship, you should be doing performance appraisals, just like they do on your job, to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do. And if you don't, what do? They write you up. So the same thing in relationships. You should be doing a performance appraisal with your partner, maybe every 6 months. You guys should be sitting down, telling each other, you know, where you're at in a relationship. What are you missing? What is it that you desire? And even you don't even know if that person can meet those desires or not. So it's a good thing to sit down and evaluate your relationship every 6 months. I'm telling you, people change, people grow. And sometimes we, as humans, we don't communicate to our partner that I'm changing. You know, my wants and my needs are different. You know, the older we get, sometimes we may not even want to be bothered, you know. So you have to be able to communicate with your partner, your love language, what it is that you want out of the relationship. And if your wants and needs have changed, it's your responsibility to tell your partner. They are not mind readers. Don't just expect for them to know. I know women do it a lot. Don't expect for the man to just know what you're thinking. Communicate. Open up your mouth and communicate. A lot of relationships die for the lack of communication. Communication is oxygen to the relationship. So you have to open your mouth. You have to get out your thoughts and your feelings. You have to be able to tell the person that you say you love how you feel and what you need from them. And if they can meet those needs, good. If not, then they should be, you know, honest enough to say, hey, babe, I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but here, let's compromise. This is what I can do. And you have to love people where they are. Sometimes we try to change people. We try to change them into what we want, and it doesn't work. Somebody is not going to be happy in this situation. So you just have to make sure when you meet somebody, they have at least 90% of the stuff that you want. And I think 90% is too high. I'm going to say 80, because, you know, they have that 80-20 rule. So make sure they have at least 80% of the things that you want. And the other 20%, don't go looking for it. Just, hey, you probably just won't get that. Some people leave the 80% and they go for the 20%, and then they turn around and be like, wow, like, I'm really not happy. You know, you have to weigh the options, 80-20, 80-20, right? So go for the 80%. You're not going to find someone that's going to give you 100% of what it is that you want and 100% of what you need, because you are not going to be able to give somebody that. You don't have the energy to cater to somebody in that way. But I guarantee you that you will be able to do the 80%. Find out what it is that your partner loves. Find out what it is that your partner desires and cater to those needs. Get outside of yourself and cater to someone else. And if you're doing that, they're going to cater to you too. So don't just think that, oh, I'm going to be doing all the work. Nope. If you're loving on a person and they're feeling loved, they have no choice but to give you that love in return. And if they're not giving you that love in return, then you need to think about if this is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Don't be afraid to be lonely. No, don't be afraid to be alone, not lonely. So you can be alone, but you don't have to be lonely. And some people are lonely in relationships, and you don't have to be. Still Standing is my poem that lets you know that with or without a partner, you are beautiful, wonderfully made. And when it's time for that partner to come, work on yourself so when they come, you'll be ready. Position and prepare yourself for the one that you deserve. All right, you guys, so meet me tomorrow night. Right here, day 20, which means it's 8 days before my 50th birthday. And I'm so excited that God even allowed me to be here, to even be thinking about celebrating, because the devil tried to take me out at 41. The devil tried to take me out at 43. And he tried to take me out every single day. He's trying to take us out. But guess what? God on my side. I am victorious. And that's why I consider myself a warrior, because a warrior is somebody who's been to battle. They prepared for battle and they won. And God took me to battle, and here I am sharing my warrior story with everybody I come in contact with. And part of that is in my book. So join me tomorrow right here, 28 poems, 28 days at 8 p.m. right here. And I will be making a special announcement, and I will be giving away some gifts for people who have been listening to the poems every single night. I will be doing a contest, so you'll be able to win a prize. And then I'll make my big announcement leading up to my birthday that's coming up June 28th. So this is Lady Rochelle, author and founder of Warriors Talk, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time. See you tomorrow.